Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So I thought today it would be good to just sit down and do a get ready with me. It's been a really crazy week with everyone starting school and trying to get used to new routines. So I thought what better way to let go of some stress than to sit down and just play with some makeup. So I've already done my skincare, which is why my face is extremely shiny. So if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and that way you'll be notified of whenever I upload. So let's just get ready. So I'm gonna start with my brows. I have my ColourPop Brow Boss pencil in a soft black. This is my favorite pencil to use. One of my favorite drugstore pencil to use. So I'm going to, I don't do a lot with my brows. I like for them to be as natural as possible. So for this look, we're just gonna carve out the bottom. So I usually just outline the bottom and the top, and I end up just, and I like this brow pencil because it has a spoolie on the end, so I can go through and comb through them. So like that, and then I flick the front up because my brows in the front tend to go up, so I try and just go naturally with what my brows do, just to make it look as natural as possible. So I just flick the front up, and then I comb through. I'll do the same thing to the other side. I've come to learn over the years of doing my makeup that my left brow is my good brow. My right brow doesn't want to act right most times, but they say, everyone says your brow should be sisters, not twins. So up. So easy. Comb through them to make it look smooth, no harsh lines. That's it. All right. So sometimes if I do a more going out look, I'll carve out my brows with some concealer just to make them look a little more sharp, but I'm not going to do that today. So what we're going to do is, so I'm going to use my, I'm going to actually pull you guys in so you can see my eyes. Okay, so today I'm going to be using the ColourPop Wow Nothing palette. I love this palette. It's one of my newer ones, but I've been using it just about every day because it has a lot of neutrals in it, but it also has some pops of color. You got some greens in there, a peachy tone, some pinks in there. So this is my favorite one to use right now. So. Forgot. So yeah, I'm gonna take my NYX Proof It waterproof eyeshadow primer, and I'm gonna prime my lids. If I don't use concealer on my lids, then I'll use this because it does last all day. My eyeshadow lasts all day when I put this on. Actually, I'm just going to use my finger to blend that in. And I'm trying to hold my mirror down so you can see what I'm doing still. Sometimes I do get into it and don't pay attention. All right. I'm going to take a Morphe M441 brush, and I'm going to start with Vagabond. I'm going to start with this shade right here. And this shade is probably not going to show up that much on my skin. It's just to set my eyeshadow primer that I've already set down. So. Windshield wiper motions, just to get that all over the lid. Like I said, this is really close to my skin tone, so it's not going to show up, but it's just going to set what I've already put down. Next, I'm going to go a little bit darker. I'm going to go into Come Together, this shade right here. And I'm going to add that, and I'm taking the same brush. I'm just going to start at the outside and just blend in the crease. And we're just adding a little bit at a time to make this darker and darker. More precise. Alright, so now I'm going to take an even smaller brush. So I'm going to take my Morphe M513 brush, and I'm going to go into No Bounds, which is the darkest shade in the palette. We're just going to place this. First, we're just going to place it on the outside, and then the rest of what we have, we're going to put that in the crease. And we're going to go lower with each shade. So I'm going to fan that one out. And this shade has some kickback, so just make sure you tap off the excess. And if you add a little bit at a time and then gradually get darker, that way just take your time and not mess anything up. So I'm just going to take a clean brush and just smooth out the edges so there's no harsh lines. And I'm going to take a little bit, of Morningside right here, this shade right here, and I'm going to put this in the crease. Just because I don't want the crease too dark, so that's just going to lighten up here. Yeah, there we go. The other side. Ooh, that shade has a lot of kickback, so make sure you just brush off the excess, tap off the excess. And again, I'm going to take that brush that has no additional product on it and just go back over. Okay. So now, let's see. Oh gosh, all these shades are really pretty. Let's see. I think I'm going to go in. I love this, so I'm going to go in. I think I'm going to go in with seashells right here. This green color. This is really pretty. I'm going to go with that one. So I'm going to take a packer brush. And I like to spray my brush because I get the most pigment when I spray it. And oh wow. Love that green. It's really pretty. And I'm just gonna go to the middle. I'm not gonna go all the way on my entire lid. Beautiful. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Spray my brush on the other side. I don't know why I haven't used this. Is the first time I've used this shade using the palette. And then I'm gonna go back into, since we put seashells down, since it's a shimmer shade, I'm gonna go back into No Bounds and add some more into the crease. That way it doesn't get, add some more into the outer corner. That way that one doesn't get lost, and you can blend that into the green so there's no harsh lines. Same thing on the other side. Love it. Okay. All right. So now we're all done with the eyes. We'll do the lower lash line once we do the face. So I'm going to zoom you back out and let's get into the face. Okay. So now I'm going to start with my primer spray. This is the same spray that I used to spray my brush for the green eyeshadow that I used. This is the Milani Fruit Fetish Make It Last spray. This is in Kiwi Watermelon. This smells really good and it makes my makeup last all day. So I love this spray. Ooh, there went the top. Okay. And I'm going to use my Ciate London Watermelon Burst Hydrating Primer. For some reason over the years my skin has changed. I used to have really oily skin, but not anymore. My skin has become really, really dry, and especially in the summertime, which is, you'd think wintertime is dry, but no, mine's dry in the summertime. So I need a hydrating primer. That seems to be the best, the one that works the best for me. So this on. I already did my skincare this morning. So you see my face is, oh, I used way too much of that. That's okay. Go down my neck too, since we're going to be putting foundation. So now I'm going to use my Juvia's Place I Am Magic Velvet Matte Foundation, and I use the shade Punta Cana. So I love this foundation. I'm going to use my e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. Absolutely love this foundation. I use the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector to get rid of those. This is what it looks like. And I do it after I do my foundation, but before I do my concealer. And it's got a pink hue to it, so it's really good at concealing my bags and dark circles. And now for concealer, I'm using my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer, and mine is in the shade Medium Dark 115W. The other side of my sponge to blend this out. And to get a little bit more precise, I'm going to use a brush. This is the Deluxe Crease Brush, which I don't use it for that. I use it to get in the corners to make sure the concealer's blended out all the way. So now to set my face. Well, I was gonna, actually I'm gonna use one cream product. I'm trying to get into cream products. Besides concealer and foundation, I'm not really a big cream product user because I feel like I might mess up. So, but I'm gonna step out on a limb. I'm gonna use the Milani Cheek Kiss in Rose Romance. So I'm gonna use this. And what I'm gonna do, so I don't use too much, I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand. So I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my sponge here, and hold on. I'm gonna use a different sponge, so I'm gonna go with this sponge. I put it on the back of my hand, so I'm just gonna take it like this, get it on my sponge, and then I'm gonna go from there. How much? Actually, this is showing up a little bit, but it's actually not that bad, so I'm actually going to put it right on the sponge and hope this doesn't go south really quickly. So, all right, so put it on my sponge. Oh no, that's really nice actually. That's really pretty. Thank God that worked. All right, now that I'm done with that, I'm going to set my face. I'm using my Fenty Beauty setting powder. I have the shade Banana, and I like it because powder gets everywhere, so it has this little cap that closes it, as you can see. That closes it when you're not using it, so I really like that about this powder. And it smells really good, so what I do is I just put a little bit in the cap, like that. And I'm gonna set my under eyes first. So what I do before I set my under eyes, I go back and make sure I've gotten all the creases out. And I take a brush, swirl it in here, tap off the excess, and set underneath my eyes first. And then I take, oh, that's lovely. I take my Morphe E41 brush, and then I swirl and set the rest of my face. Neck. All right. So next I'm going to bronze. So I'm using my shade and my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna mix these two shades right here. blush. I'm going to go over where I put down the cream blush. And I'm going to use Parakeet by ColourPop, which is this shade right here. And most of the time I just kind of mix them, but today we're just going to use that one. That's pretty. And for highlight, I'm going to use, which one? I have two. So I have my Soul Shimmer Body Powder. So I have this highlight. Then I also have my Milani Strobe Light and Glowing. So I also have this, which I think I'm going to use this one actually. And then I'm using my all over blending brush by Milani, which bridge of the nose. Cupid's bow. I love that highlight. It's so pretty. And sometimes I can tend to go a little overboard, so what I'd like to do is I take my sponge that I use for my foundation and for my concealer and just blend it out a little bit, make it look a little bit more natural. Alright, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to go back into my Wild Nothing palette and I'm going to finish my lower lash line. So I'm not going to do liner today, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the darkest shade that was in the palette, No Bounds, that palette that we use, the shade that we use in the outer corner, and I'm going to take it on an M432 Morphe brush. So it's like it's got like it's really small, so I'm going to use this, and this is going to be like kind of like my liner. So I'm going to go in and pack this on. After that, I'm going to take a smaller brush and I'm going to smoke it out. And let's see. I think I'm going to go into, since this has a little sparkle, it has some sparkle in it, but I think once I blend it out, it'll be fine. I'm going to go into Hot Springs and I'm going to add that down there on the lower lash line. just smoke that out. Now I'm gonna take the shade. I think I'm gonna do, I don't know if I'm gonna do Salt On or Spirit, actually Salt On. I'm gonna do this shade right here. And I'm gonna put that in the inner corner. I'm gonna do it with my finger. Yeah, there we go. Do it with my finger because it. Let's see. Fingers are your best tools. Pretty. So now I'm gonna go in with falsies, but first I'm gonna go in with my NARS Climax mascara, and I'm gonna put on a coat of mascara before I go in with my false lashes. I have really long lashes, but they do not curl at all. So I always make sure I go in with mascara beforehand, so that helps blend my natural lashes. Oh, and I just got tip that I learned: when you get mascara on your nose, let it dry, and then instead of, if you try and wipe it off while it's wet, it'll smear. So just let it dry and then it'll come right off with a Q-tip. Took me the hard way to learn that, but I did. So now I'm gonna use my CoverGirl liner. I think this is like Major Matte Black, yes. And I'm not gonna do a wing. I'm just gonna put a line down so it'll hide the lash band. And I love this liner because when it dries down matte black. So I'm going to be using my Allure Wispy Lights. I don't wear lashes a lot, but when I do, I don't like for them to look like I have lashes on. So these are a great one to use when you want a little extra something, but you can't really tell that you have lashes on. And my favorite lash glue is the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive. Even at the end of the day, when I pull my lashes off, it's really hard to get them off. And I have glue on my lashes for the next couple days, but this works amazing, and it is so cheap. You can get it at Target, Walmart, and it's really cheap. I think it's like $3 or $4. while my lash glue dries some, we're gonna do lips. So I'm gonna go in with my Essence. This is Nude lipstick. It looks like this. Really pretty. And it kind of smells like, say, blueberries. Don't worry, I'm gonna get the liner off my nose. I know it's distracting. I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay. So sometimes I wear matte lips, but a lot of times I like to wear gloss over it. And excuse my gloss because I use it with everything. This is my Essence gloss, and as you can tell, it's called Behind the Scenes. It's a clear gloss, but I use mine over top of lipstick, so mine's kind of gross right now. Alright, I'm going to put my lashes on and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to put some more of the Climax mascara on by NARS just to blend my natural lashes, with the false lashes. And I'm going to give my face one final spray with my Milani spray. That's it. This is the final look. Thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you tune in and subscribe so you can get notified when I upload. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.